Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now. I don't think I'll be standing in line for the release of iPhone 3G, even though I will be getting one, because we do have 3G networks here in the Seattle area. So it would be worth it for me to get it, because I do access the internet, email, and the web frequently on my current generation or first generation iPhone here. I'll also likely be getting the 16 gigabyte version of the iPhone 3G. This is only an 8 gig. I've never really run out of space, but I like having that space there, and especially knowing that there are going to be tons of apps available in the App Store, many of them free. I'm going to be maxing out my iPhone with applications. I can't wait. That's the thing I'm most excited about with the iPhone 3G, or specifically Apple's new operating system for the iPhone 2.0, or whatever it's being dubbed. I think OS 10 iPhone is the official name. I've got, though, a top 5 reasons not to upgrade to iPhone 3G here. I didn't write this one, and I'm sure you're going to remind me, hey, Chris, remember the first day the iPhone came out and you said you weren't going to get one that first day? Yes, I remember. I'm still eating crow. There's a lot of it left over in the freezer. If you send me your address, I'll mail you some of the crow I'm still eating over that one. This list was submitted by Pat Me, and it's rather lengthy. He's got 5 points. There's a little bit of misinformation in here, so I'm just going to kind of sum up his points, because generally speaking, the 5 reasons he's listed to not get the iPhone 3G are very valid. He said he saw the video, and he wanted to write a list that was geared towards people like me who have an iPhone already, the first generation iPhone. Not necessarily for people who don't have an iPhone yet. It's just for people who have one now, why you would not want to upgrade to iPhone 3G. Number 1, and he says, like you said in your videos, the iPhone 2.0 software will work perfectly fine on first generation iPhones, so why get a new one? The only extra feature you may be getting is a new headphone jack, and it's going to, instead of being recessed like it currently is on the first generation iPhone, it's going to be flush. So a lot of users have really wanted that in terms of the case. A 3G processor, or at least capable of 3G speeds, I'll get to that in a second, and a GPS. A lot of people don't even use the GPS on their phones now, and Apple has given the first generation iPhone a feature using cell towers and Wi-Fi hotspots to help pinpoint your location. The type of GPS that he saw at the keynote didn't look that powerful. Well, it is a GPS, and if you don't need a GPS and you're not in an area that has 3G, you may not want the iPhone 3G. Number 2, if you're one of the people who spent between $400 and $600 on the first iPhones, then why would you waste any more money on a new iPhone? Who knows? Apple could drop the price again or introduce a new iPhone. The iPhone 3G was just a slight upgrade, and you might want to hold out until Apple does a major overhaul on the iPhone. And to that, I would agree. Now, that being said, $200 for something that could possibly be faster, and certainly, a newer design isn't that bad, but it's not something that you need to spend your money on. Again, going back to his first point, you will be able to use the new operating system on the current generation iPhone. The only shortcoming would be that the hardware inside and slightly outside is going to be different. Number 3, iPhones have strict contracts in place. That's true. Your only option to upgrade to the iPhone 3G from your current iPhone, if you want to keep your current iPhone, is to get a new number and a new iPhone. So you're just going to have this thing just kind of laying around. The SIM card in the iPhone can only be used in the iPhone. So why would you want to get a second iPhone? It remains to be seen. I don't know if AT&T is going to, or even Apple is going to allow us to change the current iPhone generations, or the current generation iPhone. We're the iPhone generation here. I don't know if they're going to allow us to use it as a regular old iPod or not. I mean, it's a functional device, but if I get an iPhone 3G, what can I do with this model? So hopefully they'll come out with something that we can do with it. If they don't, I'm going to be sending mine in likely, and if I can't do anything with it, I'll likely be sending it in to sell for cash. And there's a link that I've got, I think in my blog somewhere, on where you can send in your old mobile devices and get money back, and they do also take iPhones back, and I've made a lot of money sending my old devices back that way. Number 4, and this is something notable, and many people have already called Apple and AT&T out on this. The new iPhone contract is notably more expensive than the previous one. You may just be paying for more features that you won't use. Since you can't cancel your iPhone contract easily, you'll be paying for 2 contracts potentially at the same time. You'll not only have to go through the trouble of adjusting to a new device, but new fees as well. And I don't know if it's so troublesome to adjust to the new device as much, but it is true. While the new iPhone hardware is cheaper, the service contract will be more expensive, at least $10 a month, if not more. If you're a business user, your data plan will go up by $25. So instead of paying $20 a month now for your data plan, you'll be paying $45 a month as a business user. As just a regular old personal user on the 3G network, it'll be $30 a month, so it's still $10 more expensive. It's not a wash. The reason why Apple had to lower the iPhone price is because of that. They knew that the rates would be they're getting you somehow. It's not something you need to consider in terms of price, because you'll be paying roughly the same amount. In fact, you'll probably be paying more over time with the service plan. But don't look at it as saying, well, it's cheaper than the first one. Well, it's all, a part of this big package. And you can't take the hardware independent of the service. The two are tied together. And that's something you need to understand. It's going to be just as costly as today's iPhone. And you can't even get this now. It's all going to be the iPhone 3G or nothing. And number 5, just because you don't have a 3G iPhone doesn't mean you're browsing the internet in your 3G hotspot. And I think he uses that hotspot term loosely. If you're in an area that has 3G connectivity, you will likely connect through 3G. But he notes AT&T's 3G networks are only in the country's most populated areas. If you live in a suburb or even a moderately sized town and don't travel often, you may never be able to use the 3G capabilities. You're much more likely to run into a high Wi-Fi hotspot than a 3G area. AT&T is still working on expanding their 3G networks, so it may be a while until they're in most places. You need to check online or in an AT&T store to see a map of AT&T's 3G network. That is very true. If there is, in my mind, yes, the speed enhancement is great. But in my mind, the number one reason to get the iPhone 3G, if you already have a current iPhone, is the GPS. And I have GPS hardware. I've got it built into my car. But this is the reason why. I think the geolocation, or what they're calling LBS, or location-based services, and the apps that are going to be released in the App Store are going to take advantage of the GPS. And there's going to be some really cool things that developers will enable you to do in conjunction with that GPS hardware. And to me, that's worth the price. To me. And then potentially having access to 3G networks. But he notes, if you know that your area doesn't have 3G right now, you don't need to get it. It's very true. Absolutely true. So, Pat, I appreciate this list. Sorry I kind of pared it down. You listed out really good reasons why a current iPhone owner would not upgrade to iPhone 3G, at least right away. I don't think Apple's going to be dropping the price anytime soon. I'm surprised they even, started it out at $199. If it goes any lower than that, color me shocked. I remember paying $600 to $700 on Verizon's network for a Pocket PC device when they were still called Pocket PCs, using the Pocket PC OS, or Microsoft's mobile platform, which is now known as Windows Mobile, and didn't get near the amount of use out of it in both phone and in terms of data and text messaging and everything that the iPhone has given me. And so it's difficult for me to compare that price to other devices and say you're getting a lot for your money in terms of a device. The service, you have to keep in mind, though, that's a big part of the pricing strategies. And I'll be sure to put a link to a few of the blogs that I found who have really gone in depth in terms of explaining to you how the price is going to break down for you as an iPhone 3G or potential iPhone 3G owner. So what do you guys think? Is the iPhone 3G overhyped? Is it a welcome addition to your pocket? Are you going to get one? I've asked these questions before, but I'm just interested. I mean, it's something that I've never been excited about a mobile device as much as I have the iPhone, and that was only after becoming an owner. You might remember, as I said in the beginning, I just didn't want one. So anyway, let me know what you think. I'll be interested in talking to those of you who are out there in development circles. I've got a few iPhone app ideas, as I've mentioned before. I blogged a few ideas that I had about weather apps on the iPhone, and hopefully someone's going to pick up those ideas and run with them, maybe in conjunction with me. Maybe someone will create some kind of Chris Pirillo live iPhone gadget thing. I don't know. Because we have this chat room going here. It's this whole interactive community. No matter where we are, I'd like for people to be able to use their iPhone or iPod Touch to chat with the rest of the community. Because we've got this whole just group of geeks, and in fact, I've got a radar right here that shows where everybody's located right now. They didn't know that, but I've got their IP addresses mapped. But no, it's just a screensaver. It's benign. That's not real. It's graphic. See, look, it's a graphic. I'll make it disappear. Any old way. Send me your thoughts, if you will, or leave a comment. My email address is chris@pirillo.com. And, of course, you can find me streaming live video, doing something usually. And even if I'm not doing something, the people in the chat room usually are. And they're chatting about technology, software, hardware, internet, devices. Doesn't really matter. We're just a bunch of geeks, and we love this world of technology. Do you? Fine. Well, then you're welcome to join us. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.